Hello YouTube, this is going to be a review and some reasons why you possibly shouldn't buy a Drill Master drill, the cheap corded one. So I use it for a year. It's overall an okay drill. It's got 6-foot cord, pretty pliable even in the cold, nice fitting here. It's got a safety, sorry not safety, it has a hold down for the trigger. You got reverse, forward. Just a cheap sander drill. It has this level that, I don't know if it works, this level bubble in the newer models. Basically why I'm not going to be using it anymore is because I put a 1/2-inch drill bit in the chuck and it ate my drill bit. I was going through about an 1/8-inch steel plate and with some oil and everything, and the chuck just gripped onto the bit and split it, and even when I open the chuck all the way like it is now, I can still turn the chuck in and out, no problem. The bit is stuck in the center. So I'm going to tear it apart and see what it's like inside. Hopefully. It looks like it just uses Phillips screws. But I brought a flathead and pliers just in case I need it. The motor's still good, so I might keep it for something else. And for $9 US that it costs, it's an okay deal. But if you're not doing any serious work, not a good deal. Whenever I went through wood or aluminum, I went through pretty nicely in drilling. Screwing, it's 1 speed because it's a plug-in, so you can't really put screws in. But for drilling holes in wood and aluminum, it's okay. Once I started going through some heavier materials, such as steel, it always used to heat up. And even when I went with nice new titanium bit and lots of cutting oil, it still used to heat up, even going through thin steel plate. And the drill bits slip in a chuck a lot. Maybe because it's just a 1-speed chuck. I don't know. But in my opinion, this is made for drilling through things, so it should be able to drill through thin steel plate and hold it out. Yeah, these screws, they're different lengths, which is normal, I think. I haven't really opened many drills before. But they're not in very tight. I would say they're torqued down to maybe 2 or 3 foot-pounds, not even. They're not in tight at all. Let's see if I get all the screws out. Nah, this isn't a really magnetic head. Oh, I missed one there. This one's a little tighter, actually. And yeah, of course, made in China, cheap stuff. Well, we'll see what it actually looks like inside. See if there's any medium name brands in here. Alright, that part's splitting. Flat it out. Still held together a bit. What's being held by? Don't know. Nothing. There we go. Okay, so this is the cover. See, it looks like the steel held up pretty well. Okay. We do have some dust on the commutator, but it is okay. Technically, if I was to replace this chuck, it might be possible, but it probably costs more than the new drill. And the bearings are GNF 620Z. 620Z is the size. GNF is a cheap Chinese company, of course. But the bearing on this chuck is still good. And it still spins freely. But as I said, it ate my bit inside. And it's a titanium bit, and it won't come out when I grab it with pliers, so this chuck is pretty much finished. Technically, you could remove this regular C-clip, I believe, split ring pliers, take this gear off, take this bearing off, and just replace this chuck. But again, probably can't find those anywhere. I gotta take the brushes out first. Let's take this switch out. Got our switch here. Yeah, these are. Oh wow, I just snapped it because I'm an idiot. But these wires are just held in to those little standard tabs. There's one brush popped out. Let's take the other brush out. These brushes, no wear marks on them. Pretty cheap made brushes. Are they replaceable? Yeah, they should be replaceable. They're still in okay condition, I would say. This commutator motor on the other side. On the other hand, there's a few loose pieces in it, actually. I don't know what's loose. Something's loose here. Okay. Let's look at this. We got a bearing on the end here. Not sealed on that side or that side. It is a... There are no numbers on this bearing or letters. Interesting. And actually these windings are not sealed at all. It doesn't... There is some sealant on this side, on the inner windings, but the outer windings could move when I move them with my finger. So this is a very cheaply made motor. Bearing on this side actually has something on it. It's an 608Z made by HZBZ. Haven't heard of those. There's a fan on it. It's okay. Let's look at inside here. Got some dust. Again, no sealant really used on these windings, which is, there's like a light sealant, but I could still move them with my fingers. So this is a very cheaply made unit. But again, for the price, nothing much you could say. Plastic overall held up pretty well. I just don't know what type it is, but it held up okay. Grease inside didn't hold up the best, but again, for the price, you can't get better. There is actually some diagrams on here on the switch, which is nice. Tells you what the positions do for each one. I'll just finish taking it apart by taking the switch assembly off. Oh, these screws are on. They're really torqued a bit tighter than the other ones. I'll tell you that much. Oh yeah. So this part of the unit is pretty secure. Between the wire, the switch, the dust getting in there, it's pretty secure. But the front end of the unit, I would say you will get dust and stuff through the seals into the grease and eventually into the commutator assembly. Oh, and this came out, this little bubble level gauge, which works, but just like any Chinese level gauge, probably isn't 100% accurate, but never know. You'll have to see. To measure it up against something, just that out. It's a nice assembly for what you pay for, and you could do some decent wood drilling with this, as well as some heavier duty drilling in thin sheet metal and aluminum. But once you start going into thicker materials, harder materials, even standard steel, you're not going to get too far with this system and chuck. Anyways, that's the opening and review video for the Drillmaster single speed reversible keyless chuck plug-in drill 3.2 amps. And yeah, you want to make more YouTube videos, just comment below.